Gut. Und sind noch aufgestiegen.
Das ist cool.
Und Gandalf auch.
Stufe 70.
Und gar nicht mal so schlecht. Cool. Gut. Wir haben mehr geschafft als in einer vorherigen Episode.
Das lief besser, ja, auf jeden Fall. Minotaurus und Ogre, gar kein Problem. Also, ich meine natürlich mit Hilfe von kleinen Glühwürmchen. Glühwürmchen des Todes, Teil 3.
Out now.
Jetzt auf DVD, on DVD. Nein, war trotzdem ein Stück weit sind wir gekommen, ist okay.
Ja.
Uns ist kein Tod begegnet. Im doppeldeutigen Sinne. Weder der Tod noch der Tod.
Wir sind gestorben.
Bei den Banditen.
Mhm.
Das ist richtig. Scheiße. Und dafür haben wir aber auch wieder 2 Lazarussteine gefunden. Wieder voll gut gemacht.
Das stimmt, das finde ich echt gut. Ja.
Und jetzt fast einen 3. Mit dem Reinsplitter. Und dann haben wir einen 6. Reinsplitter.
Mhm.
Was das? Na gut, storymäßig nicht so viel passiert, außer dieser Typ, der erschien und dann wieder weg war.
Das stimmt. Also wir erfahren so
ziemlich
langsam,
mysteriös.
was los ist.
Vielleicht hat auch das ganze, mal ganz kurze Spekulation, dieses ganze Insel-Finstergram-Ding wirklich mit so einer vasallen, erweckten Geschichte zu tun, wie bei uns praktisch, nur eben, dass die tot sind. Es scheinen ja so Geisterwesen zu sein oder so ein Kram. Erinnert mich an Selens Großmutter. Alte. Na gut.
Nennen mich Selens
Großmutter. Nee.
Okay.
Aber ansonsten alles okay. Für euch jetzt im Abspann dann noch das Monument des Andenkens. Wen es interessiert, wir haben schon viele Tafeln gesammelt.
Alle 15 Seiten. Es gibt wahrscheinlich noch Dutzende mehr.
Und wir finden noch bestimmt nicht. Ich glaube auch nicht, dass wir. Naja. Ja, mal sehen. Ich glaube nicht, dass wir jede Ecke vom Labyrinth gesehen haben. Wir möchten auf jeden Fall bis zum Ende, ich denke mal, du bist einverstanden, noch die Räume mit den Mondsteinen betreten. Die sind ja relativ am Anfang. Damit wir uns das auch noch angucken. Vielleicht in nächster oder übernächster Episode.
Theoretisch können wir auch mit den Mondsteinen anfangen.
Mit den Türen da dazu. Wir haben ja einen.
Werden wir sehen.
Wir haben ja nur einen. Genau. Lasst euch überraschen. Wir sehen uns wieder. Für euch jetzt noch die Texte.
Viel Spaß.
Bis dann.
To serve her master and be as she commands, to be shaped in her image, that is the part of a pawn. But my master's image is no longer her own. Defeated by the world's steward, she fell into perdition. Having witnessed her fail to achieve her purpose, my breast was filled with regret. Yet amid that darkness, a spark of light too took root. Within my soul, a crude and inchoate mirror to the Arisen's own, new strength emerged. I had awoken to love. I came to notice the changes within me as his tireless ministration saw my shattered memories slowly mend. I came to love him as my master had before me. Then some years later, fate came on dragon's wings to mark him an Arisen, as his master was before him. Though his heart was lost, he seemed more alive than ever. He burned with new purpose to slay the worm and avenge Greifen. I became his pawn of my own will. I too saw in this a new calling, to love him, serve him, and lend him strength, ultimately to become as him. It was a fate I welcomed gladly. Defeat me or speak your wish and offer up a sacrifice. A second time I heard the dragon's bargain spoke. Yet I felt a strange reluctance in its tone, as if the ultimatum were given unwilling. And in that moment, I knew it. The worm we now faced was my former master transformed. The revelation tore him apart. Whichever his choice, the wages were cruel tragedy. A new and dark desire poured forth from his sundered soul. His wish for power to destroy all existence marked me for death. And yet I never blamed him. For as my life was snuffed out, I held firm to my belief. The day would come, I knew, when he, our master, and I myself would find redemption.
Still a child, I stood amid the ashes of my village. Through the driving rains, two figures came. One, a woman of golden hair, extended me her hand, perhaps in pity. Greifen was the name she gave. A hunter of sorts, she said. Her quarry, the worm. As she spoke, the woman at her side simply stood and watched me, wordless. She was a pawn, come of a different world, the first I had seen. Her air was strange, yet somehow alluring. I chose to join them, this Arisen and her pawn. It seemed that, or stand forever in the ruins of a lost life. They offered no words of invitation, yet neither did they turn me away as I followed. As we traveled, I was taught to fight. Greifen was my mentor, my mother. She breathed new life into my parched soul. Then came the day the huntress found her mark. She left to face the worm. That day's parting proved final. Her pawn returned, alone and scarce alive. Gone was the bold and faithful Myrmidon who had served as Gretta's steel. Her empty eyes stared through me now. And what of the worm? Had our mistress felled the beast and stayed calamity? The pawn held no answers. Her mind and soul as broken as her body. Yet no more of the earth was swallowed up. No more was the sky stained black. It seemed the world had been ransomed. Or left at least to fester in the custody of humankind. I was left with a single hope, a single wish. To bring back light to the deadened eyes of a masterless Myrmidon. She was a pawn, I knew it well. Not human, not of this land. And what of it? She bore Grete's mien, her face. Real or nil, I soon found myself in love. In memory of Grete, silent-hearted, dragon-forged, with hair of gold and will of tempered steel. You ransomed me from a village burnt to ash, instilled life and fight. Dearest mentor, I commend you now to rest eternal. Your servant, bereft of master and memory, I keep now at my side. She lives on, your mirror in soul and body both, and I will not lose her as we have lost you. This I swear before your empty grave.